It's Sallie Krawcheck. I'm CEO and co-founder of Ellevest. And along with decades of experience in the financial services industry, I'm the mom of two, and I made it my life's mission to get more money in the hands of women. When I was graduating from college, it was the late 1980s and Wall Street was a hot place to go. I became a research analyst and I eventually had the opportunity to run Merrill Lynch as well as Barney. And then it sort of struck me, so many of the clients that I see at these businesses I run really are men. These sort of excuses around it were all why it was women's fault, that they weren't investing, as though the industry was perfect. And I thought, maybe the industry actually just does a better job for men than women. And what if we build the one company that really is all about finding what women want? When I look back at my career, when I was my most successful, I wasn't any different than when I was my least successful. I was just out there building businesses in a different way. And look, I was fired twice on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. You get fired on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, it is a long day. But I don't think I would have had the highs that I'd had if I didn't have the lows I had. When I was in career transitions, those were the most important career moments of my life. I decided to sit back and really dig deep on what was important to me. And you know what? It didn't end up being the big office. It ended up being mission. Here I was, the only woman who'd had a certain set of experiences. How can I take this set of experiences to pull together a team that can help women invest? So I decided, all right, let's do a startup. When we launched, there was not a single thing on the gender investing gap. The gender wealth gap is 32 cents to a man's dollar. While the gender pay gap's been getting better, this one's been getting worse. And so with Ellevest, what we're working on are those things between this is what we take home and this is what we keep, to try to increase the wealth. The bottom line is, being an entrepreneur is the hardest thing I've ever done by far. And I ran Merrill Lynch. Certainly at the beginning, you are 2 mistakes away from being out of business. Now, the other part of it, your life is more your own. You can choose when you work, you've got time with the kids. But the flip side of that is the job never goes away. And so I find I have to be more disciplined as an entrepreneur than I did as a corporate exec. So I love to joke, to my kids, the bar here is mediocre. I want to not be the perfect mom. We're not doing the homemade cookies. We're doing the store-bought cookies, and that's okay. My daughter was a summer intern, one of the earliest summers that we started. There were 8 of us in one small room in a co-working space. I just was like, boy, isn't this different than when I used to be the CFO of Citi? And she looks at me and she says, but mommy, this is so much better because you're going to make a real impact on women in their lives. And it just floored me. It was probably one of my most important moments as a mother. There's a whole genre of money messages to women, which is all coded language for scarcity and guilt. We need to change it because there is not one single one of us who wants our daughter to have less money than our son. And that's why these gender wealth gap matters. What we see is that women tend to manage the budget and the day-to-day. The male tends to be in charge of the investing. For women, I would really try to make sure that you're both into both. If your daughters can see you proactive and engaged with money, then that becomes very natural to them. Since the 1920s, the stock market, on average, through to the end of 2019, has gone up 9.7% a year. And that ability to put that money in and have it compound over that period of time has been a true wealth builder. The economy figures out how to grow even with difficult times. It's different for everybody, but as a rule, the first thing you want to do is, if you can, get high interest rate debt paid down. That is the biggest subtractor of wealth. The second thing is to build an emergency fund. You want to look at where your take-home pay is going. A good rule of thumb is 50% for needs, 30% we love to say to fun, 20% goes to future you. Once you've got those other things done, are there seeds you can plant for your future? There are certain things that lead to a well-lived life. You're emotionally healthy. You are physically healthy. We need to add financially healthy, because today, money is women's number one source of stress. Investing, is the number one driver of her confidence and her ability to achieve her future goals. And so that's what we're trying to shift to be part of a life well lived.